Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by North Bay Resources CEO Jared Laserson. Jared, very good to speak with you. And just a couple of weeks ago, you bought Mount Vernon. You've now announced that the startup is about to go ahead of Mount Vernon. So you've made really quick progress here.
Yes, well, that's why we went ahead with the acquisition, primarily because all the initial infrastructure and permitting was complete. So that was really the basis of the acquisition, that it appeared and it appeared ready to go, and we've gone ahead and confirmed that. We just did exploration to finalize the mining blocks, and then I guess the key pieces, our mining contractor arrived on site yesterday and has gone ahead with the inspections and further delineation of the mining blocks. The mining is very straightforward. There is a hard, visible contact at the bedrock. The gold sits between 4 and up to 20 feet above the bedrock and potentially maybe 12 inches into the bedrock. So visually, it's fairly easy to mine. We've now sampled it. That's gone to the lab. And as well, they'll do some metallurgy work to determine what can be separated by gravity and what needs to be floated. But we're into the fine details in terms of testing. But we're moving ahead here with the mining operations. One or two inspections that need to be completed before startup. But back to your point, yes, it's moving quickly, mainly because of the time and energy that's gone into this previously.
Jared, so you've completed exploration. Take us through that and the potential you're seeing at Mount Vernon.
Yes. So what we're determining, the uh, gold mineralized zone is has been sampled in detail for 150 feet. So there's a channel you can think of about it as a river. Many hundreds of millions of years ago, it was a riverbed. Um, so you have a channel that runs north south. You have an access tunnel that runs east west. The face is in the center of the channel, which has been, like I said, assayed high grade along the bedrock contact in channels for 150 feet. The width of the channel itself is totaling 500 feet. There's probably more than 200 feet of mineralization, but we have enough to start mining. Obviously, at some point, we'll delineate the entire deposit and extend it to the edge of the contacts and determine the gold grade. But right now, in that target 150 feet, which was previously sampled, it's consistently over an ounce and up to 5 ounces of gold at the bedrock contact. So what we did some check samples, obviously just as part of due diligence. But what we mainly focused on is the vertical extent. So we know the horizontal extent. So what we did is we sampled in vertical channels at a number of spots and really up to the ceiling. So to get a much better idea of what the mining height is. So we know our width. We have a good idea of the length, but the length is very long. The extent of the channel north to south is over 2,000 feet. We're not concerned at that dimension right now. The major dimension we need to understand is the really the height, the depth, and we have a mining method. The mining contractor that we're working with is specialized in what's called panel mining, which is taking out basically flat sheets. So in this case, we have length and width, but we will be limited on depth, and we just want to make sure we take out the high grade initially. So whether that's 2 feet, 4 feet, 20 feet, it'll be taken out in relatively flat sheets, mainly to allow for high grade. We know we've analyzed, we have a lot of experience in understanding where mining operations, small mining operations fail. And more than half the time it's in dilution, that it actually happens at the mine. And that's step one. So if you have a lot of dilution, step one, you'll never make it up down the line. So that's what we're focused on, having proper contractors in there and getting the panel mining going.
Take us through the final steps that need to be completed, Jared, before you can actually start mining.
Well, mining, like I said, it's just a final inspections. that can happen fairly quickly, or that will happen fairly quickly here. Um, the next real step is shipping to the mill. So we are commencing mill startup momentarily. We've already done all the initial work in terms of testing equipment, plumbing, replacing and upgrading a few things in terms of pipes. All the major pieces of equipment are working, including the flotation tanks, the frothing agents, and what's called flocculant, which is again the flotation related reagents, are being tested in the next few weeks at our metallurgy lab. The metallurgy lab actually also will assist us in mine startup. That's what they do. They're process engineers, efficiency and startup engineers. So as soon as we get those initial results back, just confirming exactly what we're using in the frothing, we already have the formulations, but we just want to test it with the ore from Mount Vernon. Obviously, that's key. We'll get those results back, and then those folks will deploy and start ramping up the mill. And as with the mine, there'll be one or two inspections or final sign-offs from regulatory to commence operations. But again, the mill is permitted, the plan of operation is in place. So, these are important steps, but I just want to reiterate the permits are in place, which is, again, why we acquired the mine, why we acquired the mill. Permitting in California, in mining in general, is really where the value is. And if you can acquire, then with permits in place, then and obviously if you're confident in operating, then the value proposition is really there. So it's an interesting time, that's for sure.
Well, Jared, I hope you'll keep us posted on any progress. Thank you very much for the update today.
Thank you, Stephen.
That's Jared Laserson. He's the CEO of North Bay Resources.